There has been a lot happening in Thailand lately, so today I'm going to be doing another Q&A video. I've been sent some awesome questions, a lot of really good questions, so let's get into them. First up, had a couple of questions about my retirement savings, superannuation plans. Do I worry about retirement? So I do have a little bit of a superannuation built up from back when I was working in Australia. I worked in Australia for like 16 years or something, so I've got that's building up. I also manage my own investments, so I invest with crypto. I'm a holder. I'm not one of those day traders or anything like that. I basically just dump money in there and I'm playing the long game on that. What are the best local areas to live in Bangkok? It really depends what you're looking for. When I first moved here, I moved to an area called Lachatawi, which was really cool. It's you're pretty much in the city still, but it's a lot more of a local area. There's a BTS station near there. I was kind of walking distance to MBK, or only 1 or 2 stops on the train to MBK, but I really loved it there. There's not that many high-rises around there, a lot more of a local area. Otherwise, get out of the city, look on the outskirts, either side of the city, also up north in the Lat Pral area, but for me, I think that area is just a little bit too busy. But basically, just work your way out of the city center. This kind of rolls on from that. Would you ever consider moving to a more quiet city within Thailand in the future? I think I have the best of both worlds here. You can see this is lovely where I live. It's peaceful. You can't hear traffic. There's bird sounds that you will hear everywhere. But still, if I want to get into the city, I'm about 45 minutes door to door to get right into the city center. And for me, that's perfect. It's the perfect balance. So no, for now, I'm very happy here. For someone who's ridden a motorcycle twice, would you recommend riding on the islands? I mean, the islands are probably the best. It depends what island. The quieter islands are probably the better place to learn, but that being said, some of them are still quite dangerous. I was on Koh Lan and there's a really big hill coming down and there was someone in front of me who obviously didn't have much experience on a motorcycle and he didn't make the turn, wasn't wearing a helmet. That was the end of that. I've seen horrific accidents all over Thailand, so I would probably recommend not doing it. Either get some more experience on a bike or just don't do it. Particularly if you're gonna have someone on the back, that adds a whole, if you're gonna have a girl on the back with you, that adds a whole other element to riding. When they move, the bike moves and you need to be reactive to that. And on top of that, some of the islands are just like Phuket or Koh Samui that are just full of crazy, stupid tourists. It's just a recipe for disaster. Hey Keys, how do you maintain carnivore and where do you shop and eat? I'm off carnivore currently. I still do it from time to time, but I'm not sort of consistently having carnivore. The easiest way for us to do that was cooking. Either my girlfriend cooks or I cook. If she makes something with rice, I just don't have the rice. I would just have the meat, like a meat sort of curry. Maybe that's breaking the rules a little bit, but it's still kind of good. It's tough if you're buying food, if you're out shopping. I mean, there's Western restaurants and you can go get a steak and things like that. You can kind of go somewhere in the middle, just sort of cut out the rice and things like that. But if you're doing true carnivore, it is quite challenging eating out. A lot easier if you cook at home. Is the Japanese license plate I see on your truck to hide your Thai plates? That's exactly what it is. This just helps me sleep a little better at night. Yeah, they're just on magnets. I just stick it on every time I shoot. I used to blur the plates and it's a nightmare doing that in the edit, so this is just much easier. I have once driven off and driven for about half an hour forgetting to take them off. Thankfully this is Thailand, nothing happened, I didn't get any trouble. I just realized it when I was at the gas station and pulled them off quickly. Any plan to visit the beautiful islands near Krabi? Absolutely. So my family is coming over this year and that's one of the places I want to take them. I likely won't film it. I'm just going to do sort of a family trip and with my girlfriend we'll sort of go to a few different places. I want to take them to Krabi and around there because it is absolutely stunning there. And then you can take a speedboat from Krabi to Phuket. So I want to do that because I've done that once before and that was just like an awesome experience. And I do quite like Phuket. I'd like to show them that too. So yes, I do plan to go to Krabi. Will I film it? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to film anything on that trip. I may do a couple of videos. Ooh, I like this. I lived in Bangkok around 15 years ago and it didn't feel overrun with Westerners back then before social media and YouTube. Do you think it's starting to feel overrun now? And if so, would you pursue a more adventurous country like Cambodia or Laos? I do definitely think Bangkok is becoming more overrun, not just with Westerners, just tourists in general. It seems like there's a lot more Chinese tourists here. There's a hell of a lot of Koreans. Maybe I just noticed them, but just, yeah, especially in the city center, like around Sukhumvit, it's crazy how overrun it is with tourists. And I moved here during COVID, so I lived here in the best time, all the borders were closed. I do see that where I am now, I'm in a much more local area, so it doesn't affect me as much. In terms of would I move to escape that? No, I'm very happy here. But I do think places like Cambodia or even Saigon, I really love Saigon, they are a great alternative to Bangkok if you want to get away from that. Alright, I do need to address this. A lot of questions about the earthquake. Am I glad I moved? Do I feel safe? Do I worry about the future? I'm very thankful living out here in a house. I didn't barely even notice it, not to the extent of the people in the high-rise condos and everything. So I'm very grateful to not be exposed to all of that. In terms of safety, I don't have any safety concerns. I think some of the buildings definitely, you know, if they had structural damage or anything, that is a real concern. I have a friend that's moving out of his condo because he's up on the 30th floor or something like that, and the building has damage and is just not comfortable there anymore. For me personally, it hasn't affected me. It has affected a lot of people that I know. I'm not worried about this happening again. I haven't felt any aftershocks or anything like that. But who knows? You know, it hasn't happened since, I think it was since the 90s, the last time it happened. It may happen tomorrow. It may not happen for another 30 years. I have experienced earthquakes quite a lot on my trips in Japan. I experienced them in Korea. I was also in New Zealand, in Christchurch, when they had a massive one back in 2010. So earthquakes don't really freak me out all that much. But that being said, I'm not in a high-rise condo that was swaying and the pool breaking and everything like that, thankfully. I can tell you it has been a crazy week or 2 weeks here since all of that has happened. I'm very grateful to be where I am, and I do really feel for everybody involved in any capacity. Question about the DTV visa. How was the 90-day check-in? Any unforeseen issues? The DTV visa is incredible. Thailand went from being the most difficult place to get a long-term visa to having one of the best and easiest visas to get. I just did my 90-day reporting. I did it online through my visa agent. No unforeseen issues. I'm in the process of setting up a business in Singapore at the moment, which doesn't, like, that's all fine on the visa. So yeah, it's an amazing visa. Do I think it will last? Probably not. So my advice is, if you want one, get it now. It's valid for 5 years. You might as well get it as soon as possible. You've been a little bit quiet since the quake. Hope all is well. Yeah, that's a little bit selfishly. I do kind of want to make videos to share that on YouTube, but I'm also coming up to my 100,000 subscriber milestone, which is something that's really important to me. This is like a dream come true for me. So I don't want to celebrate that on the back of an earthquake video or have that be the reason that it pushes me over. And I didn't want to continue to push past that mark and then be celebrating it in a time that I thought it might be a little bit distasteful. So I'm just kind of waiting. That will be very soon, and I want to really enjoy that moment. I'm just waiting for the appropriate time. So following on from that, do you have any plans to celebrate the 100,000 subscribers milestone? I'm kind of thinking about that at the moment. I was originally thinking about having a party with just like a bunch of my friends. Then I was thinking about maybe just me and Dan doing a live stream for old time's sake. I just did a meetup recently and I really enjoyed it, so I might do another one. I'm in the process of thinking about it. First up, I just want to sort of enjoy that moment for myself and reflect on everything, and then I'll celebrate it in some way. It's a massive deal. Question here I kind of want to dig into. Adam, in a series of your last videos, you said one thing: don't set up a business in a hurry. You said take your time, watch Netflix, hang out everywhere. So according to you, how much time should one consider to be there and set up a business? I think if you're moving here, I think you mixed up my message a little bit. I say don't do too much at the beginning, meaning like don't go out and party and travel and sightsee and do everything all the time. Take your time. Think about that you're going to be here for a long period of time. In terms of setting up a business, you probably want to do that. It depends on your situation. If you want to do it straight away, do it straight away. If you want to have a little bit of a break, do that. But if you don't have an income, be careful about just having money going out and none of it coming in. So when I first moved to Korea, I did everything in the first week. On my first day, I went to 5 major spots around the city that were all sort of really far apart, and that could have been my first week, and I did that all on the first day, and I spent every day like that for the first few weeks. So I did so much right at the beginning, and you can sort of space all that stuff out. So take your time with that side of things. For the business, that will be entirely up to you and your sort of financials and your plans for that. YouTube questions, lots of YouTube questions. I'll get through them really quickly. They're all kind of similar. One, is it harder for guys from Australia? I don't think it's harder for guys from Australia, but you need to think about who your audience is. So if you're being very Australian and only targeting other Australians, there's a hell of a lot less Australians than Americans. So if you're alienating the Americans, you're just making it harder for yourself right off the bat. Have a wide appeal, I think, is the best advice for that. Make sure that you do appeal to Americans, people from the UK and from Australia. This is things why you hear me call a footpath a sidewalk and rubbish trash and things like that. This is just appealing to the broader market. As a successful YouTuber, what would you tell the young Adam? And there's another one here. What would be my game plan if I was starting again from zero? What I would tell myself and what I would do again is just make sure you have all the knowledge. Think about it, you wouldn't show up to your first day at work at a new place without knowing anything. Do a little bit of research. So learn about the algorithm, learn about what makes videos stand out, learn how to make good videos, learn all the basics, the fundamentals before you actually start doing it. Learn about SEO and tags and how to get your videos to rank in search. Learn about how to make good videos, how to make good thumbnails, all this thing. Learn all the fundamentals first and then apply that when you start. Now I'm in the process of launching a new business that's all tailored to helping new YouTubers and smaller YouTubers and help people grow. So this is still a month or two off. I'll announce more of this as we get closer to it. This has been a really big project. There's quite a few of us working on this and this is really exciting. So stay tuned. Question about pet friendliness. What's it like having a pet here? Actually, there's a couple. Someone wants a monkey. Thailand is incredibly pet friendly. Like I don't feel restricted at all. I went to Pattaya last week and we found a pet friendly hotel. There's tons of them. I had to pay an extra 500 baht to bring the cat for the night, but whatever. So there's pet friendly places and no one cares about these things here. You want to take your cat on the train? Nobody cares. You want to take your cat to a restaurant? Fine. It's not like back home. So for me, it's actually been a really pleasant experience. What normal jobs will hire an Australian? Almost none. Your best bet's probably to find remote online work. Favorite local Thai club in Pattaya? By local Thai club, my favorite club in Pattaya is probably Mist Club or 808 because I like hip hop music, but that's not really a local place. My favorite local bar to go to is Mahanakorn, which is a little bit back from, it's up near that big giant 7-Eleven. There's a cool little stretch of bars along there with live music and it's not touristy there at all. I hope that answers your questions. Do you have any plans to visit Bangladesh? Absolutely not this year, but definitely a place I would like to visit. There's a few questions about my travel plans. I have a trip coming up in May, less than a month now, which is really exciting. I'm off to Japan with Dan. We are going for a couple of weeks back there. This is a really exciting trip. We've got a lot planned for there. I'll tell you a little bit about that actually. So this kind of rolls in with a question saying what's in the pipeline with Dan. I've been giving away little hints on Instagram. Dan and I are making a YouTube channel together. This is going to be a Japan-based channel. And this is something I'm really excited about. This is entirely a passion project for us. So this won't be one full of sponsors and ads and things like that. This is something that we're both really passionate about, something we're really excited to do. I think that's all I'm really willing to say. This is very close to launching. We've made the trailer for that. We've made the first video. We're working on the second video. This is going to be a once-a-week release for this. And they're super awesome, high-quality production videos. Wait. It's exciting. So we have found a little town that is completely abandoned. Alright, this is a cool question and I will finish up on this. How would you compare living in Thailand to Korea? And what is it about both countries you enjoyed best? It's unbelievably different. It's crazy to me how different it is. When I lived in Korea, I was very ingrained in Korean culture. All my friends were Korean. I spoke Korean. I did Korean things. I was just very much a part of that community and that culture. Here I find I'm sort of somewhere in the middle, this little bit of gray zone between Thai culture and Western culture. This is also amplified by the fact my girlfriend isn't Thai, and funnily enough, all of my friends, apart from Patty, is my only friend that has a Thai girlfriend, but all the rest of my closest friends don't have Thai partners either. Not for any reason, that's just how it worked out. And now that I'm removed and living out here in the suburbs, I've sort of just lived my own. It's a weird mix between my culture, my girlfriend's culture, the culture here. So comparing to Korea, they are really sort of polar opposites in that way. I loved living in Korea. I'm going back there this year. Very excited to go see there and see some of my old friends. There is a possibility I may live there someday. There's a possibility I may live in Japan someday. There's a possibility I may stay here forever. I have no idea what the future holds. I'm incredibly happy here for now. I do miss Korea. I love it there. I don't know, let's see. Oh, there's one more part to that. What do I like best? I will say Korea is really beautiful in different ways to Thailand. Thailand has beautiful mountains and islands and stuff like that, but just everywhere is much more visually beautiful in Korea, I find. But Thailand is more fun. Thailand is a lot more free. Doing things like modifying my car and stuff, I really get to experience that and I have a lot more fun here. There's a real sense of freedom here, and the Thai culture is just super laid back, and there's some really beautiful places to go visit here. It's also incredibly affordable to live here, travel here, do up a car here. I mean, I could go on and on and on about both places, really. So I will wrap this up here. I'm about to jump in this pool because it's like 1,000 degrees today. Thank you to everyone that sent in questions. Really awesome questions. 100K just around the corner.